Sean, one thing, a couple people are asking, where do you do the whole Bullfrog data thing? What was the email address you want them to go to?
If you send an email to support@postpurchasepro.com, we will make that formal introduction through email. That way they'll know
Okay,
that you're
perfect.
under our protection, that you're under our umbrella, and they'll treat you like you should be treated. You'll go to the head of the class, support@postpurchasepro.com for that introduction.
Awesome.
Amazing, Sean. Talk about energy for an hour plus straight. That was amazing. Getting tons of good feedback here. James says, great presentation. Thank you so much.
Great,
So,
Gene. Glad I could provide value. Let's do some Q&A and knock down some of these objections before people wait too long and this deal's full, because you know we're going to fill it up.
hey, Sean, there's an issue that I need to fix real quick. Can you start going through Q&A?
Yeah, I can do Q&A. Let me just pause this.
I'll be right back. I just got to fix this.
There's always some last minute issues. So we have, all right, guys, start asking your questions right now. I'm going to start with Edmund that says, what can you offer for EU marketplaces? Would it work for it? Or maybe you have a wider copywriting available. Listen, Edmund, we work with a lot of EU sellers and we actually see better results because you guys over there are not used to seeing the type of marketing that we use. We use highly compelling, hyperactive type of marketing, just like the one you just seen on this webinar, to move people from being dead loser, deadbeats on your list to finally becoming a paid customer. When someone goes, Edmund, from being a contact to being a customer, there's a psychological change that happens, whether we like it or not. When you go from the dead to the living, whether I spend 1 penny with you or $1 million with you, I become so much more valuable. And we are absolute pros with years and years of experience and successful campaigns to move any customer from your list or any prospect from your list to become an actual customer. And we start that relationship building process from email number 1. Now, before you ask, not every person on your list is going to enjoy receiving the first couple of emails. In fact, one of the main jobs that we do for you is to get the deadbeats off of your list. Now, why do we do that? Because we want you to have a list of hyperactive, hyper-responsive, engaged clients who will go to any length to provide more sales for your business. There's my daddy again. Hopefully that answers the question. So let me go through here. 0 to 25. Yes. Okay. So here's the deal. Thank you for bringing this up, Howard. Listen, the more emails and contacts that we have, especially in the beginning for you, the more work there is on our part. I'm sure you can understand that. So the $400 per month gets you from 0 to 25,000 contacts. When you go over 25,000 contacts today, then that moves up a little bit. It's graduated. But let me tell you, if you have anywhere south of 50,000 contacts, then what I want you to do is sign up for the $400 plan, because by the time we sift and sort the real buyers from the liars on your list, you're likely only going to have about half, which is fine. You'll still have the contacts, but we're not going to market to your deadbeat contacts, okay? We're only going to market to those people who are already educated, already trained, already pre-positioned and predisposed to do more business with you and your brand. So if you have more than 75,000, or excuse me, if you have more than 25,000 contacts, then send an email, let us know what that number is, and we'll try to do our best to onboard you. But worst case scenario, pick the $400 program, the 25,000 contacts, and then we'll work with you from there to figure out what makes the most sense for your brand.
Hey, Sean, I'm back if you need help.
Yeah, go ahead. So I want to answer Marcy. Is your launch 100% rebate launch? Absolutely not, Marcy. The launch that we do, our pro product launch, is we utilize your asset that we help you build, which is your email list, to launch your products. These are folks who already heard from you. They've already purchased from you. They already know your brand, so they're easy. They're like shooting fish in a barrel when it comes to selling more of your products. We're not going out to strangers who don't have any relationship or any point of reference for your business. We're going after those who already know and have already done business with you. So your pro product launch is our copywriting skills put to work leveraging your customer list to generate more sales for you. Hopefully that makes sense. So Linda says, our current goal is to move our 26,000 customers from our Amazon list. Does that work with this program? Yes, absolutely. Let's see here. Our current goal, make sure I understand this right.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sean, so what Linda's saying there is she wants to take her customers from Amazon and put them on her own website, because I read a few more of her comments.
Okay.
Yeah, Linda, so we can basically at the end of the day, you're going to be able to control where that traffic ends up. We're going to show you what's working the best in terms of creating more value in your company. And that's going to be what we recommend that you do, which is first and foremost, take that traffic and turn it into more ranking on Amazon. And then that ranking will drive more sales and more email opt-ins that then we take, and at the end of the day, we send them to your Shopify store. But we will talk through that strategy with you on an individual basis. So if it doesn't make sense for you to take your customers back to Amazon now, we can take them and land them on your own funnel, on your own Shopify store, wherever. But we're going to show you what's working the best in our program.
So exactly, Linda, here's the beauty of this, is this is traffic that you not only own, this is traffic that you control. You can send that click anywhere you want. You can send it to Disney.com if that's what you want to do. Now, we recommend that you send it back somewhere that's beneficial for you and the client, but at the end of the day, it's your customer. It's your choice. It's your call. It's your money. We'll do whatever makes sense for your business, and those are all handled one-off. It's not like this is one size fits all. These are custom solutions designed for your brand in a language that makes sense for your industry and your niche. All right, so Mark says, I sell on USA, Canada, UK, Australia, United Arab Emirates, etc. Are all these included? Yes, Mark. All of these accounts will be included as long as, and Curtis help me here because I'm going to be swimming in the deep end when it comes to managed by stats, but can you also gather all this customer data from these other marketplaces for Mark?
Okay, so honestly, part of that is Bullfrog data, and I know I was talking with Steve over at Bullfrog Data, and they were getting data for the US, but I don't know that they're getting data outside of the US per se. So I think that's something that we're going to have to kind of wait and see. I can also send the question over to Steve. So why don't you give me 1 second here? Whose comment was that again? What was his name? Because I'll check those.
It's Mark.
Mark.
Hey, Sean,
Last
kind of
name
a parallel question.
Hang on a second.
from-
Let me address more of Mark's question.
Okay.
So let's say worst case scenario, Mark, we can't get the email appends in all the other European Union countries and whatnot, only US. But remember what I said in my presentation, the most valuable, the most important thing that you can do for your business is not use the product insert that you already have or don't have. Let us use our skill set to design a product insert that converts for you. Let you focus on your Amazon business. Let us do what we do, and absolutely we can gather and harvest those email addresses through a very high converting product insert across the planet for you, because we're just sending them to a URL with that customer acquisition funnel that we've already designed and launched on your behalf. Seth?
Yep. Edmund had a question similar to like many different marketplaces and many different languages and things like that. So right now, we are very, very good with Americans, very, very good with Brits in the UK, and then very good with Canadians, unless they only speak French. But if you want to take those messages that we craft and write for you and translate them into French or German, because there's a couple other markets that you might want to tap into, you're more than welcome to do so, and we can deploy those sins for you once you have them translated. We just don't do a translation at this time. Maybe that's something that we can roll out later, but for now, we're only working with English copywriting.
And kind of to follow on the coattails of that, I did verify with Bullfrog Data, they can only do US.
Okay. So
yeah,
like Sean said, though, we are able to create inserts that can work across the board. The append service sounds like we'll only be able to pull from US orders, and that's fine. That's a great place to start, and then we can expand from there with our insert.
Yep. All right, so Cam says, any suggestions for a product insert for a food product, like powder type product in a bag? Those are my products. not the China type products. Yes, absolutely. What we love about your product already, the most successful clients that we have are those who have consumable products because you're already well positioned to generate repeat orders. And what we will do is we'll purchase one or two of your products. We'll physically take a look at your packaging. We'll design internally a product insert that makes sense for you. We may even split test a couple of offers, but it all boils down to, Cam, what we put on the insert that compels your customer to step forward, raise their hand, digitally identify themselves as, hey, I want to join your list. What else do you have for me? And then what you can easily do, if it makes sense, is move them into a situation where you're on a subscription plan. Anything that's consumable can be moved to a subscription plan. We're not going to build that for you. Our job is to help you harvest, manage, deploy, and monetize a customer list that you either have or don't already have. Hopefully that makes sense. So I can see a bunch of names popping in here, guys. So if you're on the fence, I don't have an exact count, but there's a bunch of people signing up. Obviously, this is an absolute no-brainer, guys. So look at this. Like, just the ClickFunnels tool alone would cost you $300 per month. We're deploying that on your behalf. So if you look at it like that, none of what we're doing here can be done without the proper features and a page builder and a funnel that can actually be managed and reported, right? So if you take that out of the equation, you're really paying $100 a month for 10,000 in value, which is insane. And yes, for those of you that are asking why, how are you doing it so cheap? Listen, yes, the price will go up, I promise you. This is the initial public offering. This is the first time we've ever gone outside of our own little inner circle and offered this to anyone ever. All right, so you are in a very unique situation. There's a reason why you're here. Curtis and his team have handpicked and identified you as someone who could benefit. It's not hyperbole, right, Curtis? I love that word.
It's a good word, right?
It is. It's not very colloquial, though. Hyperbole is not something that you hear every day.
Yeah, it's like that word you used at the very beginning, Sean, which has already left my mind. Yeah, it's a good word.
Corpulent.
Oh, corpulent.
Curtis, we've been doing a word
That's
of the
right.
day. That's why Sean's slipping in all these big words.
All right.
Hey,
So
hey,
Rodney
Sean,
says it's going to take
Tony
a while.
says,
What? Am I
Tony
reading?
has a question. He says the 4 special bonuses are the flow, the email cleanse, funnel hosting, and the appends introduction.
The email cleanse is important. All right. So obviously the funnel flow, I told you, you need to have a specific sequence of events that happen with every single customer. If you can't visualize that, then it's hard to deploy that. We're going to do it on your behalf, but I'm not creating a mind map for you. But if you have a mind map, you can edit the one that I've already put hours into to fit your business, hang it on the wall in your office so you see what your goals are. You can understand the process, the relationship, the way it's built with your customer. All right. That's number one. You get the editable copy of the funnel flow. All right. You can edit that to fit your business. The email cleanse is important because if you don't clean the email list, then all of a sudden we send out your email blast and you're getting bounces and you're getting invalid emails and you're getting unsubscribes and upset people. So the very first thing that we have to do with your list and ours and anyone else's is we clean that. We check it for validity. We check it for deliverability. We check it, we instead of sending it from your SMTP, like I explained earlier, and ruining your sender reputation, we let a third party do that. And we're going to do that for you. And that could cost you, $100 to $700, just depends. But we have a really good service provider that we'll use to clean your list. All right. The funnel hosting, that, goes without saying, but I'll explain it again. Instead of you paying for your page builder and funnel hosting, we're building it on your behalf and hosting it on your behalf. Yes, it's your asset. Yes, you can take it with you if you sell your business or want to leave the program. You own it. We just manage it for you. And the appends is an introduction to the insider, an insider introduction to the only software company that can still get you your appended emails from Amazon today. That may change tomorrow, but that's the way we understand it. So can we do the questions in chronological order there, Seth? I'm looking at Rodney. It will take a while until we can get product inserts installed and new products being sent into Amazon. Current sales are 400 per month. Rodney, is that 400 units or $400? Will the service offer the email append service each month for those 400 new sales each month? So it looks like that's 400 units in sales. Yes. So if I'm understanding your question correctly, Rodney, go ahead and pull the trigger at postpurchasepro.com/MBS before it fills up. But yes, as of today, we can still get those appended emails for you. But let me repeat myself. The most valuable email address that you're ever going to have are those who recently opted in because they wanted to, and they wanted to receive that value that we're delivering on your behalf. So hopefully that helps.
John, one thing that might be good to clarify, it looks like a couple people might have a misunderstanding on the free part of appends, that they're going to get the email appends for free.
No. Email appends are a very expensive scenario. The more expensive they are, the bigger your list is, the more expensive they are. What we're going to do is give you a handshake with an inside contact in the only append service that still works. Yes, you can go search and do all this and reach out. But if I walk you in and introduce you, virtually, of course, with a handshake and say, hey, listen, guys, take care of her. She's under my protection. That's what we're offering it. That's
not only is this the only append service that still works, we have very recent experience that it works well. You can go hire an append service for hardly any money, but the email will be wrong or an old email or not right, and you'll have mad customers. We have recent experience with this company that gets appends that get 40, 50, 60% open rates on the very first time we email them. If you guys have ever done email appends in the past, you know that that's not a normal situation. I'm talking about high quality data matching here.
Here's the problem with email appends. All right, let me just put it right out there. I'm going to just expose my dirty laundry. All right, not all email appends are the same. Even if you had an appends data service that still had a backdoor loophole into Amazon through an API, you are likely going to get better match rates because your append service may be appending household wide. See, if we do a data point match, name, address, phone number, Facebook handle, right down the line, you have a choice. You can either have an individual match, which is a lot higher value, or you can have a household match. Well, there are 6 people who live in my household. If you get my 12-year-old son's email address because you have my address, well, guess what? He don't want to hear from you, and he's not buying what you're selling. So you have to watch who you're doing business with. You know, my father sitting back there, he explained to me back when he was selling vacuum cleaners, we call them suck buckets. Back when he was selling suck buckets, he said, son, every good salesman knows more than one way to tell the truth. Well, an append is an append, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a valuable append. So you got to know who you're doing business with. Did you or did you not say that? I did. Yeah, he did.
Hey, Sean, we've had a few different questions from Brian. I'm going to unmute him real quick, though, so we can just address it because it's kind of hard to understand through text here, okay? Hey, Brian, I unmuted you. Go ahead and unmute your mic, and we can have a quick conversation about this.
Hey, Brian, you're live on the Howard Stern Show. What's your burning question? Crickets.
Brian, you got to unmute your mic, buddy. While he's working on that, Sean, move to the next. Oh, here he is. Brian.
Yeah, so sorry about that. The first question had to do with the fact that we're selling it on Amazon under a company corporate name. We've got 2 brands. Each of those brands point to 2 websites. On our websites, we're highly integrated with extensive emails and flows through Klaviyo. Seems to me like that would be the logical place to add a service like you're offering. I see the value in your service, but I'm concerned about building a whole nother service on top of what separately. So can you help me understand how that might work?
Yeah, sure. And the reason we do this, and it's a very good question. Thank you, Brian. When we first started doing this for these other high-level clients that are already involved in the program, in the beginning, we allowed you to use Klaviyo or use ActiveCampaign or Aweber or whatever, even Actionetics and ClickFunnels. But what we found out was we're able to more not only beneficially for you, but also beneficially for us, leverage the assets that we already have to do the best sequence for you. And what we do is we build all of those assets for you inside of we have like a enterprise administrative version account with MailChimp. So we build everything for you within our MailChimp, and then we export that. And what I like to say is basically by clicking one button, we give your MailChimp account superpowers. So you can run your Klaviyo parallel to MailChimp, but we absolutely insist that you use MailChimp because it allows us to do the best job for you and allows us to onboard a maximum amount of people with the maximum benefit, or the maximum sales benefit, that is. Another thing that we'll do, and I'll just throw this out there, and you'll get through this in the intake process, is we like to communicate in real time via Skype. So I know Skype is a thing of the past, and everybody likes to tic-tac and use what is it?
I've got Skype with my China
great.
people.
So with Skype, you have a 24-hour access to our customer service team, and when we need something from you, we can send it, and you can drop the document back in Skype. You know, like for example, if you launch a new product and you forget to give us your logo, well, we can email for a couple of days, or we can say, hey, Brian, we need your logo for this product, and you can just drop it right there, and that allows us to work in real time, literally 24 hours around the clock, because we have staff on the other side of the world that can help us with this. So does that make sense? That's kind of one of the ugly things, is that you have to have a MailChimp account, but based on experience and very recent experience, we're just able to do it a lot more quickly and a lot more effectively if we can use MailChimp. So
okay,
that
doesn't really scare me or bother me, because obviously a MailChimp account isn't very expensive. I guess the question is more for a long-term building a brand and a business. We've already got all of this running over on one side. How do we, and this can be handled in a Skype call later if this is a little too much for this call, but basically I'm trying to understand how I can integrate you guys, pay your service, integrate you guys, but not destroy or damage or hurt what I've already got going on the other side, which we've invested lots of energy in.
That makes sense. So what you would do is continue what you're doing within Klaviyo and all your email campaigns, because what we're going to write is going to be so far outside of the scope of what you would write for your emails. And Curtis right there, Curtis Johnson, he'll tell you right away that they have, like, even with his massive software business, how many different processors do you use for payments, Curtis?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. And they send emails from several different email service providers. So our job is not to hurt what you already have going, but our job is to work in conjunction with, in concert with what you already have going, and to, enable you the power, if you will, to go after the segmented list that we have for you. If you want to do a promotional message, remember, you own the list. You own all the email templates that we write for you in the sequences. You can put anybody from any of your other business into your sequence if you want, because by the time we get you up and running and optimized, your deliverability is off the charts, your open rates are ridiculous, above anybody else in the industry, and your click-throughs are nuts. Because remember, we're showing you, Brian, every month you see how many sales were generated based on what we did for you, not stuff that's like maybe, like a little fairy dust sprinkled on it, guru numbers. We're talking about real dollars and cents. Here's how many clicks went back to your Amazon listing. Here's how many conversions. Here's how much revenue that generated. And the only way we can do that is by utilizing the tools that we already have, right? And that we're trying to deploy on your behalf. Does that answer your question a little bit better, I hope?
Yes, absolutely. One small question off of that is, so when you're driving more sales, are you driving it all to Amazon, or some to Amazon, some to your own website? What are you doing there?
In the beginning, it's all to your Amazon listing for you, okay? And the only reason we want to do that is because that's where this collateral benefit phenomenon comes in, is because the more sales that we generate in your Amazon listing, the more reviews you get, the better conversion rates you get, the better ranking you get, which creates more sales and more emails, so we all win. Anything, and don't worry about the questions, Brian, keep them coming, because I can promise you, my friend, if you're thinking about it, someone else is too. They're just not asking, okay? So we'll be here all night if you want. But everything that we do to monetize through our hybrid approach, if you will, is completely outside of your brand, not even sent from your email service provider. only sent from our email service provider and our SMTP reputation. In fact, they don't even know where their name came from. I mean, I'm sure you get emails every day that are, you know, pretty engaging and nice emails, but you'd really like to know where they got your name, right? Well, they're partnered with other marketers who share the list that's mutually beneficial. And pardon me, but I'm always in sales mode, so forgive me if I come across like I'm pushing.
Hey, Brian, one of the things that I think might help you is, so every single one of your customers who come through our program will go through what Sean described earlier as our fundamental 14. It's the first 14 emails that we write that go out automatically, and those are written custom for your product or brand, depending on the situation. And those 14 emails will take a customer, an Amazon customer specifically, through a specific sequence. So, you know, the first few emails in that sequence are designed to deliver customer value so they have a better customer experience. And then they're designed to prevent negative reviews. The next phase of that is to get them to come back and leave us a review once we've gotten rid of all the customer service problems and the people who are negative. And then we go into upsell mode back to Amazon to help with organic ranking, pushing the traffic back through the keywords that are important to you. And the last bit of that fundamental 14 phase is that we cross-sell within your brand so we can link up all the products that make sense. So then you can get that frequently bought together relationship to show on all your listings. So all of your branded products are paired together. And so that's why we kind of, you know, pushed for sending that initial traffic back to Amazon. But then beyond those first 14 emails, we're going to be sending emails weekly, between 1 and 4 emails every single month for you, and you'll be able to decide where you want to check out that traffic. So if you don't want to take that traffic and send it back to Amazon this month, you can send it back to your Shopify store, send it back to your funnel, wherever you want. You'll be able to make that decision in real time. Does that make sense, Brian?
Yeah, that actually helps a lot, Seth, because some of our products, we only have a small segment of our products that we sell on Amazon, and then we've got a large segment that we sell off of Amazon. So the tail end of that funnel obviously makes more sense to be driving some of that back to the websites. So that answers the question very well. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, Seth, for the clarification. You know,
all right, Brian, thanks.
Hey,
you earned your bonus for the day.
Thanks, Brian.
Seth, I'll send you the $2 by PayPal, okay? Your bonus.
Send that over. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Sean Hart at, no, I'm just kidding. I've been dancing around Eileen's question for like 20 minutes. So let me see here. Do you provide campaigns in other languages? You already answered that. Sorry.
Yep.
Cynthia, I'm trying to ask a question. What if you don't have a product yet? Cynthia, if you don't have a product yet, we can't help you. But if you book a sales call, you book a Skype call or something from the website, like if you go to our website on a browser and you try to exit, there's an option to engage us in Skype. Maybe we can give you some ideas on how to start with a product. But if you have no product, you have no sales, you have no customers, you can't do anything. Not saying we can't do anything later, but thank you for asking. Linda says, we're sick of all the Amazon craziness and like to move out. We already did that one. Tony's in, thank you. For the done for you, then would you use translators or should I consider that as an extra cost? Seth, I think you've already
got that one.
taken that one. I'm thinking I would like to sign up, but I haven't been able to listen to the whole webinar. I'd like to listen to the replay so I can know exactly what I'm getting. If I sign up today and I listen to the replay and decide it's not for me, can I cancel within the first 72 hours? Here's what you can do, Jerry. I don't know, number one, if it's still full. If the page still works, then it's not full, so you can sign up. But if you sign up and fill in your intake form, and in that form, let us know that you have some reservations, what we'll try to do is within the next 24 hours, we'll get on a Skype call with you. And if we can't make it make sense, then we'll just cancel you. Is that fair? We can do that, can't we, Seth?
Yep.
So go ahead and sign up. That way you got your name on the list and you're in line. And within the next 24 hours, we'll jump on a call with you on Skype. You have to have Skype though. All right. Hopefully that helps, Jerry. All right. So Morgan, can you please walk us through how the third-party co-op emails to our list work? What would be the frequency? Do you have an opt-out, an opt-in to our customers? Okay, good question, Morgan. So basically, What we've discovered through our own email marketing campaigns, as you can see, is that 40% of our revenue comes from back-end sales. Well, what we figured was, and we tested it and it rang true, is that I can take your list, okay, and send outside offers that are completely outside of your brand and still generate revenue, and generate enough revenue to offset not a whole $10,000 per month, okay? What we wanted to do was make this an absolute no-brainer. So we thought, well, what's the minimum hard cost if everything went wrong we have to cover? And we came up with 400 per month. Number one, that separates the looky-loos from the real players that want to actually grow their business. Because, you know, if you can't spend 400 a month on this type of service, something's wrong. Something more fundamental than an email list, all right? Number two, our goal is to help you grow the list, because as your list grows, our list grows. So, you know, what we'll do is send consumer offers that pay us a commission. For example, recently, we've sent during open enrollment, healthcare open enrollment in the US, we earn a pretty good commission if we can send folks back to the marketplace type of agency that allows you to change your health insurance. It's not distasteful. It's not underhanded, shady. We're not selling casinos and online gambling. They're tasteful consumer offers. We sent one recently that offered where Bed Bath & Beyond was offering free coupons to new customers who shop online. They pay us $12 per acquisition. You know, if we send out 10,000 of those, we get 100 people show up, that's $1,200 that we make. That's where we're monetizing. I mean, there's no secret to it. We're not going to report and show you exactly what your list was worth to us. Our goal is to create an asset that puts money in your pocket, right? And the rest shouldn't even matter. If you're getting a good return on your investment, everything's above board, we're building an asset that helps you get more sales and more money when you sell out. Who cares if I go cut your grass for you, if I bundle it up and sell it to the neighbor for hay for his cows? Doesn't matter. It's an asset you didn't use. You know, if I dig up gold in your driveway and you know, and you allow me to take 10% of it for my troubles and my efforts, then who cares, right? We're not going to hurt you. Our goals are aligned. You know, we're going to run parallel with you after. That's why I wanted to emphasize after we have you optimized, after we have your email list scrubbed, after we've trained your customers, after we've provided massive value in forms of dollars and cents in your Amazon listing, then we go completely outside of your brand. And that's why I talk about, you know, get this type of high level marketing, but have someone else pay for it. Well, that someone else are the other marketers out there who pay us an affiliate commission to send their offers out to an engaged list that makes sense. You know, we never send anything that competes with you. If you're in the supplement business, we're not going to send supplements. You know, if you're in the fitness business, we're not going to send, you know, more fitness products, and, you know, on and on. So, Tony,
Sean,
how
can
do
I
we
add one thing in there too?
Please do.
So here's another way to look at this, guys. Have you guys ever actually ventured into your spam bin on your email? It's a terrifying place, frankly. It's filled with lewd offers.
Every morning. It's like I open it up, I do Control A to select all, and I click delete.
In other words, there's two things that are happening here. Thing one is that if they abuse their list that they are getting through their process, what happens is their account will get automatically sent to spam. So you kind of have a check in there already that these companies are on it, like Gmail, Yahoo, all these companies are on it on getting spam out of people's inboxes immediately. So you already know that they know that, and they're applying that with your accounts, but they're also applying it with a generalized audience as well. That's one thing. I'm trying to remember what the second thing was. I know that was a good point in it.
Howard's trying to hire me to mow his lawn, so that's what I'm laughing about. All right, listen.
Yeah,
Here's
I
what
love
we're
mowing
going to
lawns.
do.
That's great.
There are so many hundreds of questions coming in. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to wipe and reload right now. So I'm going to start at the bottom again. Ask your question if it hasn't been answered yet.
While you're doing that, someone asked a really funny question. What does appends mean? So very simply, you take something and then you add something to it. So that would be appending something. So the concept is you have a a customer on Amazon and you're adding their email address, their real email address onto their contact. That's all that means. I just thought it was
Yeah.
comical before you.
I know I had an appendix attack once, but that didn't make me any.
That's a different thing.
Oh, okay. So Yoel says Amazon does not give the customer email address. So how is this data relevant to us? Go for it, Curtis. I love that. Thank you, Yoel.
Sorry, I muted. That's I guess the reason he's throwing that over to me is we work a lot with Bullfrog Data, which is the company that does all of that. Honestly, we have no idea how they do it because we can't even see the data, especially with what Amazon did recently. So they're able to basically pull enough data points somehow and then take that and then add from your Amazon transactions, okay? So they're able to take that and then figure out enough to add the real email address on there. And like Sean was saying, they do it at a 50, 60, sometimes 70% success rate of the actual email address, not Sean's kid's email address. So that's.
But you know what I'm talking about, Curtis. Like some companies will go, oh, we get
100%. Are you
but it's
kidding?
household level.
You have to understand that since we're in the software business dealing with Amazon sellers, we hear about this stuff all the time. Like there's a reason we've never used anyone other than Bullfrog Data. Everyone else is pure garbage. Bullfrog Data is actually the only one that I've seen recently that's still around because they're somehow the only show in town that's actually getting that data still. No one else is getting the information. And that tells you one of two things. Amazon, let's say Amazon in the past had open doors. Fine, then they closed the door half. And all that is like, some of the players are still able to figure out a way to get the real email address, the real phone number through that half open door. Amazon has already now made it so it's literally only this tiny little crack. And the only company we've seen so far that is able to reach into Amazon and extract that email and phone number accurately is Bullfrog Data. No one else has been able to do it. I don't know what they're doing. Whatever they're doing is working.
Check your email,
I love
Seth.
I know it's literally, and you should look at it as that way because eventually what's going to happen, Amazon will eventually close that door. And when that happens, you cannot get it anymore. So get it while Amazon has left a crack that only Bullfrog Data has been able to find.
Let's exploit the crack. That's what we do when we're backing up to a trailer here on the ranch. We're like, come on back, come on back, come on back.
That's right. That's right.
Stop.
I heard that in a different way, but I'm going to go with what you said, Sean.
All right. Now, that's what you get for not using a Mac. All right. So Mark says, is onboarding based on who orders first or who responds to your onboarding emails first? Mark, basically, if you got in the beginning, which I know you did, then you're already at the top of the list. So the next thing that you can do to further your priority is to get us back that intake form as soon as possible, because once the intake form is sent back, then you're assigned a client number, and until that happens, nothing moves on our side. Okay, so good question. Mark says, are you writing email sequences specific to a specific product? If I have multiple products, where there'll be a different sequence. Here's what we're doing right now, Mark. We'll write the sequence specific to your brand, unless of course your brand is something generic that sells everything, like General Electric, for example. So we'll take a look at that. That's what the onboarding process does. No two accounts are the same. We'll look at what you have. In some cases, we segment that in the funnel on the first landing page. In some cases, we segment that with a completely different funnel and different email sequence. So don't worry, we'll get it done for you. Jay says, can this work with MAP products? And I'm just a seller of. Yes, of course, because Jay, even if you have minimum advertised pricing, all right, doesn't mean that you're not part of the party. You still have a customer list. You still have people who are buying your product and opening it and having a customer experience. All right. So all we have to do is move them from one list that doesn't exist onto a list that does exist that you can monetize daily. Especially if you own the product and you're shipping it to Amazon, then you can add the product inserts that's going to get you the customer list. Now, if I go out and buy razors, does that mean that I'm only going to buy it once? No, it's a consumable product. You can sell me shaving cream and shave oil and replacement razors, and everything else. Okay, so don't sell yourself short. That customer list is super, super valuable. In fact, it is in every single direct sales business, which is what we're doing. We're selling products directly to the end user. The customer list is the single most valuable asset for any business. How do you think we're able to get thousands of people to a webinar? Because Curtis Johnson has a customer list of prospects that he sent the email to. How valuable is that? I don't know. Hit me up after the 72 hours and I'll tell you, maybe. Probably not, though. All right. Thank you, Yoel. So what will the Bullfrog data side of things cost? Bullfrog data is based on the amount of emails that are appended. You'll get an estimate at first, and they'll say, this is what it will likely cost you once we run your file, and you'll make a deposit. What is the average cost per email in cents, Curtis? Or if you don't want to go on record with that, that's fine. What is the average cost per email record, per email match in Bullfrog?
It's I know that because I use the service myself. It depends. It's a sliding scale. It depends on really how many contacts you have. Like the more contacts you have, the cheaper they have it per.
So let's just say hypothetically, if it's hypothetically 10 cents, if you got 1,000 names and we match half of them, that's 500 names at 10 cents a piece, going to cost you $50. If you have 10,000 names, it might be less.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, people should think in the 16-cent range, and then it comes down from there. But yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so and that's per match.
Per match, yeah, not per contact.
Per match,
so
that's right.
So like if you get a list of 10,000 names, the software will say, well, we're likely going to find 5,000 names. Here's what it could cost you. Make a deposit. Exactly. We'll square up after we run the file, right? Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah.
Okay. So Brian, let's see. Here we go. Robin's got a good question. We've been selling other people's brands, but are now working with amazing.com to create our own brand. Congratulations. Great program. So we can't use your service yet, but would be willing to use it within a few months. What do you suggest? Please elaborate if you would. Robin, if you don't mind, we can bring you on live and walk you through this. But I don't know if you're selling someone else's brands, why you're not able to use this. There's no reason in my mind why you couldn't do that. So if you just say yes, Robin, and Seth will mic you up and we'll talk through this, okay?
John Ricardo also says, I'm not selling on Amazon yet. He's starting in a few months. What can he do to reserve a place in the program?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I was reading Clint's question.
Oh, it's fine. So Ricardo said he's not selling quite yet, but he wants to reserve a spot in the program.
Okay, yeah. Probably. I'll tell you what we'll do, Ricardo. You can go there and sign up just like everyone else. Pay for your first month service. That way you're in. And then send an email to support@postpurchasepro.com and remind me that I said this. And what we'll do, we'll just put your whole account on pause for however long do you need? 90 days, 180 days. It's not our goal to collect your $400 every month, especially if you're not getting anything. Our goal is to prove out this model like we already have on a small scale, prove it on a big scale, and then take it to the masses with a higher price point. So I like your situation. I like that you're starting from zero because, it's going to test our skills and hopefully we can over deliver for you. So if that makes sense, sign up, send an email immediately to support and let us know that we're going to pause your billing until further notice. I'll give you up to 6 months, but let us know if you need something less than that. Fair enough? All right, Clint. Yeah. Is the psychographic data available to us? It'd be nice to ensure the web content is congruent with what is being emailed out. No idea what he means.
Clint, Clint, what we do is we actually install some Google Pixels and we try to collect that demographic data for you.
I'll be back.
Yeah, so every month, Clint, we will send out a monthly report. Right now, some of that demographic data is put on there, but over time it'll become more extensive. So hopefully we can share some of that with you. A-Run says, How about FBA orders? Can you get the email and contact info for FBA orders? Yes, absolutely. That's what we're talking about. And that's what Curtis's valley analogy was about, how Bullfrog data can still pull that data out of that valley. I love that. So yes, we can
Closed
still
door.
get that data.
There's a door.
It's
Valley
closed.
works
It was
too,
a
I
door.
suppose.
Okay.
Door.
The door's almost closed, but we're still able to sneak in there and pull it out for you guys. Also, when we design the insert for you, whether that's FBA or FBM, that will always work. So whether or not Bullfrog data can do it in the future or not, we will still be able to make it happen.
Okay. How about FBA orders? Can you get email and contact info for FBA orders? Absolutely. See section on Bullfrog data and email appends, which is training module 1.b. All right. Let's see. Oh, now I understand what Clint's saying. He had some clarification down there. All right, question for Curtis. What is, again, the name of the company that extract the data for Amazon that I can use their service? Send us an email to support@postpurchasepro.com and we'll make a specific introduction so we know you're in good hands.
And so anyone, and just in case anyone needs that, I sent it to everyone, just what Sean said as an answer. So you should see it there where it says support@postpurchasepro.com. And that way, you know, it's there.
Let me ask, for those of you that are still on here right now, I should have asked this in the beginning, and I meant to launch that poll before we started, but I forgot. Forgive me, I'm not as perfect as it says I was. But let me ask you, have you ever interacted with Seth and I and any other business in the Amazon industry before today? The weird thing is, Curtis, is that normally when we do a webinar, I can identify like 30% of the names on the list, but there were like 2 on here, which really concerns me.
Wow.
So
That's
if you've
interesting.
interacted with us in the past, just let me know, just for my own curiosity. Okay, how far back do you go in sending emails to past customers? Cam, again, this is going to depend on your brand. You know, recency, frequency, and value, right? How recent did they join? How many times have they purchased? How much have they purchased? We'll look at each one of these cases individually and make a decision. We've gone as far back as January 1st, 2015 successfully, and we've gone back to January 2019 unsuccessfully. Depends on the niche that you're in, the product, what kind of psychology is behind the product and the purchase. Is it a high pain point? Is it a recurring revenue model? Everything's different. We'll do our best to instruct you on that. But what I recommend, if you're a little nervous purchasing a bunch of appends, is start small. Let's go back 180 days, test that. If that works, then we'll go back a little bit more. But remember, product inserts are going to be your future. Appends are a great way to hit the ground running, but inserts are going to be a game changer for you if you're not doing it already in a big way.
You know, there's one thing I
Okay.
want to add to that too, Sean. There's also kind of this, so we're in a sort of an interesting time period with marketing right now. Affiliate marketing is so huge as a subject that you don't know also one of the people you reach out to on one of those lists might bring you to untold, you know, other avenues of sales, because you're also showing that you actually have brand loyalty. You create a, you know, an actual family out of your customers as opposed to trying to sell them one time. You're going to be shocked at how many relationships you're going to create there. So that's also the thing about one of these, going back to 2015, going back to prior dates. You might find that you have a customer in there who is an exec at NBC and happens to have bought your product 10 times. You know what I mean? You don't know how remunerative it might be to dive into that list and keep your audience really engaged and talking with you. It's there. We did a podcast with a guy a couple months ago who had something like this happen. He literally had someone reach out to him and say, "Hey, I have a show and I want to host you on it," and that show led to a international spotlight. Like, you don't know where the branding and creating these relationships will go. It's definitely insanely valuable to do this kind of stuff.
I love that. It's like that, 2 degrees of separation when it comes to electronic
That's right.
messaging, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good insight. So Larry says, oh, you already got Larry. Cam, if you're selling non-private label products like bigger consumer brands, are those emails worth contacting? Absolutely. Why do you think Unilever paid $1 billion for Dollar Shave Club? When they already own Gillette, they want the customer base. So Jay has worked with us in the past, and Mark has worked with us in the past. And Clint says no. I've never heard of you, says Jerry.
Sorry, a little delay here. Aaron brought up a good point, and maybe a little confusion from some of your comments earlier. He or she says, how about products with non-recurring sales, like non-consumable? What do you think about that, Sean? Because I know you commented on your love for consumable, but most of our businesses are non-consumable. So tell them about that.
Yeah, I mean, we've sold hula hoops, for example, successfully through this program. Now, how many hula hoops do you think the average person needs? When, conversely, we've sold bed pillows. Well, the average person replaces a pillow ever so often. I have a friend that buys a new pillow every month. We've sold, let me think.
That's
some
frequent.
products. We sold like muscle rollers. So, I mean, you can only roll one muscle at a time, right? So, and this has been successful across the board for us. Nothing else really comes to mind, but yes, just because I love repeat purchases and consumable products doesn't mean that's the only thing that we work with. It just lends itself better to repeat purchases to the same customer. Okay.
Sean, doesn't that also speak to maybe a area that they need to really expand on? If they've only got one product in their brand, that's probably something they need to also look at expanding upon anyways. Like you should have multiple products in your vertical.
So not only do we work on repeat sales, and it makes a lot of sense for a consumable product to be repeatedly purchased, right? But like Curtis is saying, one of the big things that we do right away is start looking for cross-selling opportunities, because those cross-selling opportunities are what builds your brand in a customer's mind, but then also what builds that brand in Amazon real estate. So it puts it into more places on Amazon, like we talked about with Frequently Bought Together. So if you have non-consumable products, but you offer more than one thing, it doesn't really matter. We're going to sell them more of that same thing, whether you think we will or not. Sean, I love the example that you give many years ago, we were selling, pillows or a cup or whatever. And you said, what's the most likely thing that they're going to buy? I said, I don't know. Tell me. You said the same thing. And I said, no way. And I sent an email and it generated way more sales. And you said, yep. And I said, why is that? Why does somebody need another one of these things? And you said, I don't know, but whether it's a gift or they just want to collect them or whatever, they just want to reinforce that they made the right decision to themselves.
Well, let me tell you, I'm at the Hart Family Ranch right now, okay? And when we first got here, for some reason, I bought a new Blink security system, and it came with an Amazon Echo Show. Now, if you don't know what that is, this is what it looks like. One of these little boxes. I had to unplug it to show you. I didn't know that I didn't need that for my camera system, but I just bought the bundle. And when it came in, I fell in love with the stupid thing. And since then, I bought 6 more of them in 3 different transactions. And I bought one for my stepmom, I guess she's called, right? My dad's wife. Yeah. Why do you need
another example of that, Sean?
Yeah.
Another example of that most people don't think of. You said the whole hula hoop thing, right? And I was like, yeah, that's true. No one ever needs a second hula hoop. And then I realized that with my 2 kids, if I ever buy one of something, I'm like the worst parent and the dumbest parent in the world. I had my daughter wanted a teddy bear, and my 1-year-old son almost killed my daughter to get a hold of that teddy bear. So naturally, I went and bought a second teddy bear. So
you're a slow learner,
you also don't.
Hey, listen, there's a reason.
Right? You always gotta you have no idea what they want the second one for. Maybe they loved it so much they want to get it for a gift for their parent or something. You don't know. Just
hey, we only have one dog, but I bet you can't guess within 10 of how many cows we have out there.
Oof.
Give me a guess.
15,000.
No, 36. We have 1 horse. Guess how many dirt bikes we have? 1. Guess how many 4-wheelers we have? 4. Why? because we like the first one. Now everybody wants one. So who cares? A buyer in motion stays in motion. Don't question it. Just cash the checks. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to make money. All right, Grace, same answer for you. Not ready now, ready later when you relaunch. Go log in, go to postpurchasepro.com/MBS, take advantage of this unique offer, get all your free bonuses, and immediately when you sign up, send an email to support@postpurchasepro.com. Let us know that, pardon me, like Ricardo, there goes the four-wheelers now, like Ricardo, you're going to put this on ice and tell us how long, up to 180 days or less. That's the best I can do for you. So good luck with that. Let's see, Mark, I already use Bullfrog data. I'm already connected. Good. Yeah, Mark says he's engaged with us several times through other ventures. I actually do recognize the name, and he has been to China with me, and he has spoken to some seminars he was at. So thanks for reaching out, Mark. Man, I think we're at the end of the question. So here's the other thing I want to point out. We still have, holy smokes, there's still 83 of you on here. I want to see if you can still fog glass, all right? If you'll just say, pick me, I'll bring you on here live. We'll turn on your mic and we'll talk about your unique situation and provide some coaching for you in your marketing department, whether you join us or not. Okay? So, can you answer Mark's question?
Oh, Mark also, yeah, Mark asked, should you stop future email appends until you get onboarded? It doesn't make a difference. No matter whether you have it already or they through their route, we're gonna, the contacts are gonna be treated the same way. So I don't see any benefit in changing that.
And the data is safe, right?
That's right.
Okay, cool. All right, so if you say pick me right now in the question box, I want to bring you on here and talk to you. Want to find out, where you are in your business, what marketing means for you, what you've done, what you haven't done, what you should be doing. Let's talk about it. Mark's the only one engaging. I think everyone else is asleep. All right, Brian, bring Brian on, Seth. Let's see what he's got to complain about. I mean, brag about.
Brian, you're unmuted. Say hello.
Yeah, hey guys.
Hey.
Yo.
So live.
Yeah, I'm the same guy that you already answered a couple questions for.
Right. I enjoyed that.
So you wanted me to throw out my business so that you can look at it and make comments, or what was?
Yeah, let's talk about marketing. What you've done in the past. I mean, what's the most profound thing that you've seen in the presentation that maybe you think that fits for you or it doesn't? I mean, I threw out some pretty crazy examples out there, 10, 20, 15 years ago. But the biggest thing for us is that, and it took a little minute, Brian, to figure this out. Like I said, when we started doing Amazon, we approached it the same way I approached all my other businesses. Like, we just assumed we needed to develop a relationship. We were ignorant to the idea that Amazon didn't want to share the customer data. I mean, we went as far as to sending postcards to them because they used to give us their address and everything. So back in the phone number days, we'd send SMS blasts to our Amazon customers. I didn't realize that you and everybody else wasn't doing this. So when we'd sit down and talk in these high-level masterminds, we'd be like, why are we ranking better? Why are we getting better price? Why are we exiting for higher valuations? You're selling for 3.5 multiple on your 12-month trailing earnings. We're getting 5 times. Well, when it come down to it, it was our customer list. The customer list was the number one single most valuable asset of all of our businesses. And when you say, if I say, Brian, do you have a customer list? You may say, well, yeah, I have 12,000 contacts from Bullfrog data. My next question as a business buyer is, well, are you monetizing the list? Are you selling to that list? How much is that worth on a monthly, weekly, annual basis? What's your attrition rate? What's your unsubscribe rate? How much revenue have you generated from your customer list over the past 12 months? And if your answer is 0, well, guess what? Your customer list is worthless to me. But if I say yes, here's a report. I can show you that each customer is worth $2.27 per month on average on my list. And here's specific tracking through our affiliate links that show that every time we engage our customer list, we generate more revenue Here's the P&L for that revenue. You know what I mean? So what we're trying to do, in effect, for you, Brian, and thanks for bringing this up, and for everyone else still here with us, we're trying to deploy everything that we use in our business for you for a small monthly fee. And then, and you know, small is relative. I understand. If 400 is a lot, it's a lot. But I'm just saying, in this respect, it's a small monthly fee. And then provide you with detailed reporting that shows exactly how many clicks we went back to your review, because part of what we're going to build for you is inside of your funnel is a review and information page. We're going to train your customer before they leave you a review. They're going to go to a page inside of your funnel that says ready to leave a review. Here's exactly how to do it. Go here, look for this, click this, copy and paste, you know, before they go there. So there's no question about how to do it. We're going to show you in your reporting, like I gave you a sample of earlier, how many people click the link to go to your page to teach me how to leave a review. I can't allocate the exact amount of reviews because not everyone who clicks leaves a review, but I can tell you that if I open the email, I read the email, and I click the link to learn how to leave a review, and I go to your page, and then I go to the next page in your funnel that shows me video instructions on how to leave a review, well, guess what? It's a heck of a lot more likely that I'm going to leave a review than it is Curtis, because he's never clicked the link. All right. That's all in your report. Exactly how many links to your listing, exactly how many orders, exactly how much revenue generated. It's ridiculous when you can look and go, look, I'm paying these guys $400 a month. They're producing $4,000 a month, hypothetically, of course. They're producing X amount of dollars per month in real revenue that I can put my finger on and take to the bank. Not to mention all the collateral benefit. That's why we're so excited about this. That's why when I joined the call, I was just like jumping out of my skin. I couldn't wait. You know, for me to keep a secret this long was just almost impossible. So now the cat's out of the bag. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be interesting working with you guys, because I get a little bit of mind lock on doing things a certain way, and I think you guys will be thinking quite differently. But one of the neat things about what you guys are going to be doing is that I've actually got two brands. One brand focuses on pregnant people, and one brand is focused on children.
Eliminated half the population right there.
Exactly. So the pregnant people are harder to sell to. So I understand that, but they end up being my target customers after they have a kid, because our other brand focuses on children. So
right, you're right. We all
really works out well.
You know, but I've been writing email messages and sales copy so long that basically it just falls out of my head onto the paper, or actually onto the screen. And I can tell you, most people don't think the way we do when it comes to marketing. In fact, that handsome gentleman there with the beard, Curtis Johnson, he doesn't even know. I provide all the swipe files for him to promote this webinar. And then I'm on the email list, so I can see what you're sending, Curtis. But your marketing staff, they're like almost like the anti-sales department. They literally circumcise every message that I give you before they send it out. It only shows up like 3/4 of the way.
I guess
you know?
he mentioned pregnancy, so I guess circumcision is the next logical thing to do.
I mean, that's what it feels like. It's like, I put all this effort into it, but you don't agree. Not you, you know what I mean, Curtis, but whoever's filtering the messages on my staff are like, yeah, we're going to take this out.
Email guy.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Brian, and thanks for joining the program here. We'll get you going soon enough. We're going to bring Mark on. So Mark, get your mic ready.
Mark, we want to hear from you, even if you have signed up, because there's all these other people who don't want to hop on the mic. So, you'll ask questions that they actually have.
I had diarrhea of the mouth there.
Mark, say hello.
Hello, how's everyone doing?
Hey, Mark, good to hear from you again.
This is exciting.
How are you, Mark?
Man.
I'm doing really good, thanks.
Now you know why we were so jacked up on it, man. This is something that's been like I had to keep under wraps since November, man. Can you imagine me keeping a secret for like 5 months?
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while.
Halfway through the webinar where the buy button was.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate your vote of confidence, man. We're gonna do everything we can to make sure you get maximum amount of value there. So maybe Mark and we never had a conversation before this about today's call, did we, Mark? So
about this? No, we didn't. No.
He's not been bribed or remunerated or any of those fancy words that Curtis likes to use over there. CJ, we call it Curtis don't hurt us. So Mark, in your honest opinion, in all the interactions that we've had in the past, you mentioned China trips, quick, fast, hurry, whatever it was, masterminds, Ben Cummins, give an honest review. Be ready to be muted. No, I'm just kidding. Give an honest review of those 75 people are still out there on the fence and wondering if they can believe what we're saying. What do you think in your experience, Mark?
My experience with you, Sean, is you offer big, but you deliver at least that much, if not more, consistently. Whether it's
Okay.
in person, whether it's at a webinar, whether it's an online course, you deliver. You deliver what you
Okay.
say and more. Your customer support's there. Your team knows what they're doing.
Well, good. I appreciate that. So we have another victim here. Larry says he'll come on here and talk to Howard Stern. So thanks a lot, Mark.
Let's ask Mark. I have one question for him though. Hey.
Yes.
Mark, tell us why you signed up.
Well,
What is it about
I
it
was
that you wanted to sign up?
Yeah, I've been collecting emails, well, through Managed by Stats, and then it converted over to Bullfrog data, whenever that was, I think a couple of years ago. So I have honestly a ridiculous number of appends. I'm embarrassed to say I haven't done a whole lot with. I've spent a lot of money. I have connected up a MailChimp account. They are going directly in. I do have an email sequence that it's going to now, but it's basically all value add right now. I'm not making any money from it. I'm just trying to season the list, and it's something I want to do, but I'm like, how much time and effort and money am I going to take to do that? And then you guys come along, and I don't have to spend any time on it now. I just have to
Yep.
pay you $400 a month, and you're going to take care of it all. So I'm super excited because I have
Don't
lists
forget though,
already.
Mark, we're marrying you for a year, buddy. You can't get rid of me too quick.
Oh, I paid the full year already. I already paid the full year.
Oh man, why would you
There
do
you go.
that?
Well, because I'm collecting SMS as well. I already have an SMS list.
Oh man, you
you're-
done let the cat out of the
There you
bag.
go.
Upsell.
Right.
Now you know why
That's
40%
right.
of our revenue comes from after the initial purchase, right?
There you go.
Oh man,
Very
I love me
cool.
some Mark. All right, let's talk to Larry. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks,
Take
guys.
care, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right. Seth, that was your cue to mic up Larry.
I'm trying to help Mark get muted here.
Oh,
Hey, Larry, you're unmuted. Say hello.
There, hello. Hi, guys. How you doing?
hey, doing well, Larry.
Doing
Thanks for
good.
joining us.
So first, I'll say I love the business model. I was wondering on the pricing, like how it could be, because we've done this in-house, not very successfully. And then I was waiting for what you called the catch, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, it's effing brilliant. I love it. So congrats on that.
I can't take
but
credit
that's
for it. That was Seth's idea. You know how greedy he is.
Yeah. So, like I said, we tried this internally. We use MBS and we've used the scrubbing the append service. We scrubbed a couple 100,000. We ended up with 100. We generated revenue, but we're just not experts at doing this, and you guys are. So I'm excited about that. My concern is we have several 100,000 more customers. So I'm a little concerned about like the upfront cost, right, of all of this. And we use MailChimp, and we know how the cost really escalates, based on the size of your database and all that. So I signed up, pending a discussion that I'd love to have with you guys, given our size. But I wanted to know, like, from a best practice standpoint, would you suggest with someone like us, like, should we just go for the whole thing up front? Should we do this systematically and start scrubbing? Because, the information that we've captured, we've already captured. So I assume whether we scrub 10,000 a month or 50,000 a month isn't going to matter if we do it today or tomorrow, but then the age of the list gets older and then it may not be as effective. So just from a best practice standpoint, like, do we want to do a MailChimp account that manages 200,000-300,000 names, which will cost us a bloody fortune, or is there a better way?
I think what we should do, we'll take a look at your email harvesting methods in the past, whether through appends and your product insert. Take a look at the product line itself to see if it has a high pain point. We have, like, for example, we recently did a campaign for a really high volume client who sells a product that people only purchase once a year for a birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Well, You know, it's kind of like a gender reveal cannon. How many times can you get pregnant? Like once
Right.
every 9 months, right? If you're super busy and lucky. But you know, depending on the product, we'll have to take a look at that and give you an idea of what we think. But the easiest way to do going forward, I think, is to look at your business, look at your current list, see how recent they are, see what your engagement is currently, and start small. You know, I think what's the $2.99 plan on MailChimp gets us up to what, 25K, Seth, something like that. And don't worry, Maria, you're on deck, so get your mic ready.
Yeah, I'll have to check on that, Sean.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we can do, if we do with a $2.99 plan, and we're super selective about who goes into that management plan on MailChimp, then I think we can do a really good test, like a real fair test to see what we're able to do. I think we have to give it though, like for the fundamental 14 emails that we're going to launch first, we need to give that through like email 5, which takes a few weeks to get to before we can get a real good reading, you know, on the pulse of your list and, you know, what it's worth and things like that. There are a couple of hurdles to get over, but I don't think it's unreasonable to say that we can have a real good answer after our in-depth conversation.
Cool. I appreciate that. Yeah. So we do LED bulbs, which, you know, unfortunately is not a consumable, but we have a pretty broad product line, and we have an organic like 16% repeat. So I'm hoping with, you know, some intelligent remarketing that we can, you know, and some good product launch, you know, every time we launch a product, we don't really do a great job of informing our existing customer base that we've just launched a new product. And so I think that there's a lot of value add here that we can do. It's just a matter of working with you guys on what the best strategy is for rolling it out, given the size of the database.
Fair enough, Larry. Sounds good, man. Let's move forward with it and
Cool.
see where
Look forward to meeting you guys further.
All right.
Thanks, Larry.
Take care, man.
Awesome.
Bring Maria on there for me. We'll put her fire out or add some gas to it, one or the other.
All right.
I'm getting to that point where my voice starts cracking.
Maria, you're unmuted. Say
I'm
hello.
sorry, guys. I just got a call that's important. I gotta take it. Maybe you can put it in me in the
Let us
back
know
of the
when
line
you're muted
again.
again. Just send us a
All
message.
right.
We'll bring it. All right.
Thanks,
Who
Maria.
else we got out there in webinar land? You got 65 souls still left in the room. We got Gregory,
Who are the
Howard,
brave
Hugo, Grace,
or the
Gerald,
curious?
Lawrence, Eugene, Enrique, Dwayne, Diana, David, Daniela, Dan, Cynthia. Come on, speak now or forever hold your peace. Let's talk to you. I won't embarrass you too much. Just ask CJ.
Well, I might not be your best test case on that one.
Yvonne, Yoel, Warren, Bid, Tony, Sagish, Stella, Shana, Scott, Russell, Rodney again, Vince, Robin, Ricardo, Fred, Omar. Come on, talk to me.
Stella.
Here we go. Jeff has signed up. Intake form complete. Let's roll. Thank you, Jeff. Mark says, have to run. Thanks so much, Sean, Seth, Curtis. You got it, buddy. All right. If no
Thanks,
one
Mark.
wants to talk, I'm going to go milk some cows.
All right, guys. If you are a little bit shy, like Sean is, and you you have a question that you want to ask but don't want to get on the public mic, I understand. So send us an email, support@postpurchasepro.com. And if you sign up within the next 3 days or before we hit 100 customers, then you'll be in for this special offer. So support
I got one more question for you, Seth. I got one more question for you, Seth.
Depends on what it is, Sean. What do you got?
Is that the tree behind you that you wouldn't let your wife buy?
That is not the one.
I think Ashley deserves a tree.
Such a random question.
It is. You're lucky I can't see your background, CJ.
Yeah, I know. I apologize.
I'm
You
about
know,
to be just reading the legalese and your terms of service. Oh,
I got to tell you though, you know, Curtis, you may not know this about Seth, but he definitely wears the pants in his family.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
Ashley
am.
tells you
Our
which ones to put
relationship,
on.
Sean, is that what you're saying?
No, you wear the pants, but your wife tells you which ones to put on.
Yeah, same for you, actually.
Big fat Greek wedding. We
You
might
know
be
what?
the head, but the woman is the neck. The head does what the neck tells it to.
When you're married, you can either be right or you can be happy. You can't be both.
That's right. Damn straight.
Yep. So Daniela, sorry I joined only 1 hour. I'm afraid I haven't got all the details and presentations. Will there be a recording? Yes. As soon as we finish this, Daniela, you'll be able to use the exact same link you used to register to go watch the recording. So Howard says, I'm about to be in. Just reading the legalese in your terms of service. Could take a few days.
You know what, Howard? Good for you. Good for
Yep,
you.
good for you. You got more time than I do. All right. Is there a replay to watch? Gregory, yes. You're welcome, Daniela. I think we filled all the holes in our bucket, gentlemen. What else you want to do after 3 hours?
Sean, thank you for heralding our message from the top of the mountain, my friend. That was great.
Oh, Brian, that's funny. His wife, my boss, says it's time to walk the dogs. I'll fill out the intake later. All right, Brian. Thanks, guys. Hey, you know what? On behalf of Post Purchase Pro and our friend Curtis Johnson at Managed by Stats / Bullfrog Data / PPC Logic / CJ for President, and my partner in crime, Seth Stevens, I'd like to say God bless you all. Thank you, honestly, for spending this 3 hours with us. It's always our intention to over deliver content. Hopefully, if you're not joining us, it doesn't make sense for you. You take the information that we gave you to heart and you run with it and do something. Without action, nothing else happens. So with that, I'll let you sign us off, Curtis.
All right. Well, thank you all for showing up. I couldn't appreciate it more. Sean, you're always a hoot. Seth, you always keep Sean, level-headed and sane. So I always appreciate that. For the remaining, 58 people that are still here, good for you. You are troopers and we love you. And I'm glad we were able to help you guys out with questions, teach you some stuff about marketing. And I hope you come on board with Post Purchase Pro, check out Managed by Stats, use Bullfrog Data, sign up for PPC Logic. The fact of the matter is, you do it all. Guess what? Half your business is automated. That's awesome. So with that, we love you all. Thank you very much for being here. I don't know how to end this webinar, so I will leave that up to Seth.
And three,
Curtis, come on. All right, I'll do it. I am Seth Stevens on behalf of Sean Hart, the presenter of today's webinar. Thank you so much to Curtis Johnson of Managed by Stats. We will see you guys on the next